So, you might have seen this thing on the beach, maybe tangled on the seaweed or something. Or perhaps, you might see this somewhere on the internet, talking about how alien looking animals can be, or something like that. Or, maybe you've seen it in one of my previous videos. Then, you might already have an idea of what it is. This thing is called mermaid spurs. But, that name doesn't really tell anything, does it? So, let me raise the question. What exactly is mermaid spurs? Let's get straight to the point. Mermaid spurs is an egg capsule or egg cases. More specifically, a Chondrichthyes egg capsule. If that term is alien to you, Chondrichthyes is cartilaginous fishes, which are sharks, skates and rays, and chimeras. Well, technically placoderms and other extinct fish groups might also produce egg capsules, but we're not 100% sure as of now. The name actually came specifically for the skate egg capsules, which actually kinda looks like a purse. But nowadays, the term mermaid spurs is used for any Chondrichthyes egg capsule. Oh, by the way, it's not that every member of Chondrichthyes lays mermaid spurs. Only those that are oviparous do so. In fact, the majority of Chondrichthyes are viviparous, so you won't find any mermaid spurs of them. Some are ovoviviparous, which means they kept their egg inside them until they hatch and ready to emerge, so you won't find any mermaid spurs of them either. Alright, moving on. So, basically mermaid spurs is like the eggshell of your normal egg. But unlike normal egg, sometimes mermaid spurs could contain multiple embryos. For example, Rajabinoculata's mermaid spurs can contain 2 to 7 embryos, while Rajapulchra's can contain 1 to 5. But typically, mermaid spurs only contains one embryo, just like other animals' egg. There are various types of mermaid spurs, each corresponding to specific animal groups. They all have the same basic morphology, with the same basic structure, but with some variants. At least, 10 morphotypes are recognized, including those found in fossils. For this video, I'll talk about those from the extant groups. Oh, by the way, the description I'm about to give is taken word to word from this publication, to avoid mistake. Of course, I'm not gonna say everything written here, as you can't even identify the species based on the mermaid spurs because it has varieties of specific characters. I'm only gonna tell the basic and general form, so consider reading it yourself if you are interested. Alright, let's start with the most common one, the mermaid spurs of Batoid, which are the skates. It's characterized by a dorsoventrally flattened, rectangular body outline, 2 smooth, small lateral collarettes, and inwardly oriented pairs of horns at the anterior and posterior ends with tendril-like tips and aprons between. The anterior horns are shorter than the posterior horns. Examples are from the 2 species I've shown before. Sometimes, they could have attachment fibers, like in Bathyrraja abisicola. Next is for the Orectolobiformes, aka the carpet sharks. It has a bulbous body with 2 smooth small lateral collarettes along the edges, aprons at both ends, and 2 curved and twisted horns with tendril at each end. One horn is elongated, while the other one is shorter, or even largely reduced. The attachment tendrils form a mesh extending from the lateral edges. For example, here is the capsule of Parascyllium variolatum. Next is for the Ciliorhinid, aka the cat sharks. It's dorsoventrally flattened and have a face-shaped, fusiform body with a slightly constricted waist. 2 smooth, reduced lateral collarettes, possible aprons at both ends, as well as anterior and posterior pairs of horn. The posterior horns are strongly curved in an inward direction and cross each other. The horn merges into coiled tendrils. For example, here is the capsule of cloudy cat shark, Ciliorhinus thorazame. Next might be the weirdest looking one, and the weirdly famous one. That is, capsule of heterodontid sharks. It has a bulky body with possible slightly constricted waist and narrow and broad ends. The body is surrounded by 2 large spirally twisted collarettes with smooth surfaces that may merge into coiled tendrils at the narrow end. For example, here is the capsule of crested horn shark, Heterodontus galeatus. It kinda looks like a drill head, doesn't it? The last is from the chimeras. No, I mean the fish, also known as ghost shark or ratfish or rabbitfish, etc. It has a bulbous central fusiform body accompanied by two ribbed lateral collarettes of different size that taper towards each end, with the anterior end forming an elongate tail. For example, here is the capsule from the rabbitfish, Chimera monstrosa. So, what's with the weird shapes anyway? Why don't they just lay round eggs like other fishes? Well, the most basic answer is for them to get stuck easier. Think of it like an anchor. That way, they won't just drift away and get washed up somewhere. But some of them do get washed ashore, don't they? Well, yeah, nothing is perfect after all, right? Anyway, it's also for protection. You see, Chondrichthyes is not like bunny fishes. They don't just lay hundreds or thousands of eggs. Instead, they lay few eggs. That's why keeping them safe is important. This leathery capsule with weird shape makes it harder to be eaten. I mean, just think for yourself. Would you eat these things if you found it randomly? I don't think so. Not for me at least. And you might think that this leathery capsule is not strong at all. So how do they protect them? Well, you see, when you think in your perspective, it is indeed not strong at all. But when you compare it to other aquatic animals' egg, it really is quite strong. Going back to the getting stuck answer, getting stuck somewhere makes them harder to be eaten. So, it's killing two birds with one stone. Or with one capsule. And not birds, but fishes, I guess. Well, some of the predators are not fish, so it doesn't really work, eh? I'll just walk myself out right now. And so, there you go. What might seem to be a random thing drifting to the beach is actually an amazing thing. Well, I guess amazing is relative. But now that you know, if you found one laying in the beach, please just return it to the sea. It might still contain living embryos inside. Some of them are actually endangered animals. So, let's keep them alive, shall we? And yeah, that's all for now.